Good evening, my friends. Just like a coffee shop in New York, I'm going to declare myself number one. Not in coffee, but in easy listening killer videos. Here to provide you with a nice relaxing commentary on the killer mindset. Feel free to chill while they kill, and thank you for watching. Tonight's killer is the Huntress. Through the use of her trusty throwable hatchets, she is a constant threat to the survivors, even those at a great distance. Some of her most powerful attributes are patience and precision, which when combined, can end chases as quickly as they begin. The rewarding sound of a survivor being struck can be heard echoing throughout the fog. Now without further ado, let's see this killer in action. Tonight's build includes the following perks. Discordance, which will trigger a loud sound notification whenever 2 or more survivors are working on a single generator. Barbecue and Chili, which reveals the auras of all survivors who are more than 40 meters away from the hook after hooking a survivor. Gearhead. After a survivor loses a health state while succeeding a great skill check while repairing a generator, you see their aura for 10 seconds. Pop goes the Weasel. For the next 45 seconds after you hook a survivor, the next generator you damage will instantly lose 20% of its current progress. We find our Huntress here on The Game, which is infamous for its sheer amount of pallets. With so many pallets being on this map, they may help the survivors gain distance, but may also become a hindrance due to the fact that our Huntress is also a ranged killer, which allows her to hit survivors on the other side of most equipment. Starting off on the ground floor, we see her make her way towards the first generator after her finely tuned ears hear discordance go off in the distance. We see her prepare her first hatchet to throw, but is confused to see nothing but scratch mark. As she puts her hatchet away, she hears a pitter-patter of little survivor feet. Instinctively, she whips out her favorite tool, hitting the Claudette in the back. As she attempts pursuit, discordance triggers once again, pulling our Huntress back towards the generator. She pulls out a second hatch, prepared to hit anyone she may see. A glimpse of the survivor heading into a locker, and she misses. Hitting towards that locker, she is hit with head-on. A survivor perk that can stun killers if they are too close when it opens quickly. Upset, she tries to aim and hit one, but misses, then aims for a second one and misses that as well. And now she is given an important learning lesson on what happens when you let your emotions get the better of you. You can see our Huntress here kick a generator in anger right before she replenishes her hatchets. As she searches for the crafty survivors, discordance graces her ears with information on where she knows survivors will be. She wields another hatchet for a preemptive strike. Seeing a survivor working carelessly on a generator, she throws it with full confidence. But getting a little too confident, the only thing she manages to hit is the mannequin. She almost loses the Claudette but manages to resume the chase. Hearing the Claudette drop the pallet, she heads to cut her off. Luckily, meeting her in the middle, taking a hefty swing as she brings Claudette down. After a well-performed chase on the Claudette's part, she is strategically hooked in the basement. As her Huntress refills her hatchet, she unfortunately misses out on Barbecue and Chili, but this is okay. Breaking a pallet to remove from the survivor's repertoire, she hears discordance yet again, but stumbles upon a Michaela. Both equally surprised to see each other, the Huntress seamlessly pulls out a hatchet and lands a hit. As Michaela dashes for safety of the pallet, the Huntress denies her this with a well-timed hatchet, securing another down. Here we can see our Huntress deciding to take a detour to get value out of her Pop Goes the Weasel. She notices the Fanged Man but ignores her for the pallet and decides to go back to hook her fallen survivor. The Michaela gets scooped up as a Jane Romero comes in with an attempted flashbang save, but our Huntress rejects this by just looking up towards the heavens. This is a normal tactic when dealing with these inconveniences. The Huntress decides to pursue Jane, reaching for a hatchet and throwing it ahead of where Jane is going. It hits once, twice, and down Jane goes. Throughout this match, this Jane is a prime example of how the pallets can be a hindrance to survivors in the face of a Huntress. Smashing a wall, she uses Pop Goes the Weasel from Michaela to handle this generator before going back to hook the Jane. Our Huntress sees scratch marks and begins pursuit. Unfortunately for our Michaela, she is the one discovered, but luckily for her, our Huntress has been busy and has not had time to replenish her hatchets. Now it's down to a good old-fashioned chase. Here we see our Huntress hesitate for a second, trying to respect a pallet. Downing the Michaela, she restores her hatchets to not be caught unawares again. Scooping up and hooking the survivor immediately, she moves towards the discordance trigger, seeing targets with good old barbecue and chili. She successfully scares the Jane off of the Jen and then uses her Pop Goes the Weasel before continuing to pursue her. The Jane, dropping yet another pellet, goes down in front of our Huntress, leading to her second hook. For Pop Goes the Weasel value, our Huntress makes her way back to the Jen Jane was found on discovering Fangmen. Unfortunately for our Huntress, she is about to learn that hatchets cannot be thrown over generators. Regretting that slip up, she decides to go ahead and get a second pop off on the same Jen, losing another 20% of its total progress. Everyone is healed back up and is now on an even playing field as we see Discordance making another debut. This Gen, being in the iconic bathroom, is about to get hectic. Hearing a survivor leave the locker, Huntress turns to pursue, getting a successful swing in and drops our Jane for a third time after dropping a pallet yet again. This is a good learning game for the Jane for future matches against another Huntress she may yet face, allowing our Huntress to secure her first kill of the match. After activating Pop on this Gen, her keen ears pick up a locker opening and begins another chase after a well-placed hit on the Claudette. Here we see our Huntress hit the table and then just barely miss the Claudette as we witness her becoming a little too excited with her hatchets. After watching her abuse another generator, we see her get a good shot on the Fangman as she vaults over the pot, making a good escape. It seems our Huntress remembers the head-on, but forgets that it was the Jane Romero who had it. Hearing cries of pain, we see her pounce on the opportunity and manages a very solid throw that skims the wall to hit and down the survivor. That will make a third hook for our Claudette. Well played on her part. Nailing one hatchet on the Michaela and then landing a very slim shot, knocking her down, and is going to hook her for her final time, ending her well-played match. With there being only one survivor left, it is now a match for the hatch. If the survivor finds it first, they escape, resulting in the immediate end of the match. But if the killer finds it first, it's either the exit gates or death by endgame collapse for our final contender. As we see, the Huntress is refilling her hatches to prepare and begins the hunt. Killers usually have an easy time finding the hatch, as we see here. Now for the exit gates. This is going to be a gamble since the exit gates in this map are on opposite sides of the building. Failing to get one final long-range hit, the Fang Min escapes to report to OSHA the nightmare she has experienced. This brings conclusion to the first game of the night, with the Huntress getting 3 kills and 1 escape. Good job on everybody's part. Now let's move on to our second game of the night. This next match includes the following perks. Hex Devour Hope. Whenever a survivor is unhooked while you are more than 24 meters away, Devour Hope receives 1 token. At 2 tokens, 10 seconds after hooking a survivor, you gain a 5% haste status effect. After 3 tokens, survivors suffer a permanent exposed status effect. After 5 tokens, you are granted the ability to Mori survivors. Hex Undying. The auras of all survivors within 4 meters of any dull totem are revealed to you. When another perk's Hex totem is cleansed or blessed, the Hex is transferred to a Hex Undying totem, including any accumulated tokens, disabling the Hex Undying totem instead. Call of Brine. For the next 60 seconds after kicking a generator, it regresses at 200% its normal speed and you can see it in yellow. Whenever a survivor completes a good skill check on this generator, you receive a loud noise notification. Pop Goes Weasel. For the next 45 seconds after you hook a survivor, the next generator you damage will instantly lose 20% of its current progress. Now that all the perks have been covered, let's see how our Huntress does in her next challenge. We find ourselves joining our Huntress on the Sanctum of Wrath at the Yamaoka Estates. First thing we see her doing is taking note of where her totems are, which is good practice for any killer running totems of any kind. She decides to head towards the gen that is the closest to her first totem, since it is likely a survivor is near there. The Huntress prepares a hatchet for an empty shack. Although surprised by the Fang Min, we see her panic throw leading to a miss. She mispredicts the second throw and the part the survivor took, but luckily for a Huntress, the Fang Min jumps back through the window where she gets in a beefy swing. A little too far to the left, but she manages to injure that rook. Hearing the Dwight behind her, the Huntress decides to get in a free hit. Deciding to try to cut them off, she scares the Dwight back upstairs. Taking a too excited swing at the Fang Min, she misses once, and then she misses twice. But as the old saying goes, 3rd time's the charm. Scooping up the Fang Min, she takes a quick look around to check for the Dwight before heading to her first hook of the game. Seeing the scratch mark, she uses her hatchet to cleverly scare the Dwight into going to her left so she can safely secure it down. Now we see our Huntress making her way to cash in on her pop goes as well as refilling her precious hatchets. It seems she has learned from her last game. Unfortunately, she has lost her slug and must search for him, but good thing is we find him over there by the Fangmen. Sometimes you just need the support of a friend by your side while you're being impaled on a hook. Setting the Dwight up close by, the Fangman gets helped off the hook. The altruistic Fangman trying to help her friend gets down yet again. Dwight is seen here using up his borrowed gun. After hooking the Fangman, we can witness the Dwight being brave and trying to unhook her, but gets down in the process as our Fangman exits the game while the first generator is completed. And now Dwight gets put on his second hook. We can see our Huntress following a wise man's advice about taking the high ground as she searches around for the other two survivors. And that will solidify her second kill of the night. We now see her doing her rounds checking on generators, waiting eagerly for a survivor to make an appearance. Unfortunately, due to the survivor swarming the hooks earlier, we did not get to see her get any benefits from her devour hook. A hex being torn down catches our Huntress's ears, and now the game is afoot. Heading towards the known area, a Meg runs past our Huntress, surprising her, and she needs a moment to recover. Sometimes even the survivors scare our killers. She prepares a hatchet, mispredicting Meg's escape route and missing the shot. And here we can see our Meg beautifully dodging the second hatchet. Deciding not to waste any more hatchets or time, our Huntress chooses to have a good old-fashioned M1 chase and gets her first shot on this survivor. After a second successful hit, Megathin goes down, taking her to a hook that she can easily monitor from up top after refilling her hatchets. Here we can see the Huntress staring off in the distance, watching for any movements or any crows flying off. Ooh, that was interesting. For those who didn't catch it, our Huntress saw the tiniest glimpse of the Nia heading towards the Meg and started making her way to meet her. As they both meet around the corner, our Huntress makes a big swing, injuring the Nia. We see the Nia skillfully dodge both of these hatchets very well, as she successfully unhooks the Meg as our Huntress hits the wrong target but still manages to down the Nia. Our Huntress makes an expert level throw and lands a hit. Megathin, lucky for her, she still has borrow time. Listening to her ever-improving instincts, the Huntress breaks away and takes a shortcut. It pays off as she sees our Meg and manages a nice shot as she drops down, ending this exciting chase. After hooking the Meg, she heads back to her Nia slug to make the final hook that will wrap up this game. Those are some amazing chases on everybody's part. I don't know about you, but that last encounter had me on the edge of my seat. If we remember back in the last game, our Huntress got 3 kills, with the Fang Min escaping. But in this one, she managed to hook and kill all 4 survivors. That's a huge improvement for our Huntress. Yeah, you go, scary bunny woman. You deserve to celebrate. Let's take a moment to remember all those lost on tonight's episode. The sun is coming up, so that will conclude our very first episode of Dead by Midnight. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comment section which killer you would like to see next. I was your host, Artist, and remember, it is so important to do something every day that will make you happy.